Hello, welcome to Captain Dorja's Armory. This is Captain Dorja, and we're going to be doing a little bit of World of Tanks advice again today. Last time we talked about map awareness. Map awareness is like the biggest thing that the most number of people could work on to improve their performance in World of Tanks. And along a similar vein, this time we're going to talk about over target markers. Over target markers, as the name implies, are the little info panels that you see over the friendly and enemy tanks in the game. And over target markers are one of the primary means of information gathering in a match. So having your over target markers configured properly is really, really important, because with a good over target marker configuration, you receive lots of information, and you receive valuable information as opposed to superfluous information, because there's a difference between a wealth of good information and a wealth of bad information. A wealth of bad information is not worth having at all, and a wealth of good information is very, very useful. So in order to change your over target markers, you don't need a mod or anything like that. All you need to do is go to Menu, Settings, and then you come to the Marker tab right here. Now, in the Marker tab, there are 3 additional tabs. There's Enemy Team, Our Team, and Destroyed. And on each tab, there's a default setting and an alternate setting. So the default setting is what will be displayed normally at all times during the match, and the alternate, or the alt setting, is what will display when you press the alt key. Now, because I've got the XVM mod installed, and the configuration I have for my XVM modifies my over-target markers via the mod instead of via the game client, if I change up my settings in this tab, you can see nothing happens. And that's because of my XVM settings. So instead, I have a series of screenshots to illustrate my my points here. So, right, this is, to the best of my recollection, your over target markers default setting. It shows the tier of the vehicle, the player name, the health indicator with the health bar showing a percentage, and it shows the damage received to the enemy, or friendly, whatever. And in the alternate mode, you still have the vehicle tier and the health indicator. You still have HP percentage, and you still have damage received, but instead you now have the vehicle model instead of the player name. I believe the same exact setup is used for friendly tanks, and for dead tanks, it shows you like tons of information that's not even worth anything because they're dead. So the basic over target marker configuration in the game is actually pretty bad, and I'll explain why real quickly. Showing the vehicle tier is that's a good thing, because that's kind of equivalent to, in a game like World of Warcraft or Lord of the Rings Online or like Borderlands or something, when you're running around and the NPC name appears in bright red and you go, oh crap, run away. The vehicle tier indicator is sort of similar to that. If you're driving a tier 5 and a tier 8 rolls up, you just immediately see a big Roman numeral 8 staring you in the face, and that's a pretty solid indication of your chances in that engagement. So vehicle tier is a good thing to leave on, but player name as the default setting is really stupid, because there's very, very little practical application for player name. There's really only 2 things that you ever use player name for, and that is to make fun of people and call them idiots, or you might say something, you might use player name to say, hey, Captain Dorja in the Tiger, follow me. So that's about the only valid player name application. Health indicator is definitely worth having, so is damage received. The problem with the default health indicator is it shows the vehicle's HP percentage, which means that you need to remember the HP total of every vehicle in the game in its stock and upgraded condition, and you need to be able to identify whether the vehicle is stock or upgraded, so that you can determine how much health they have, and then you need to know how much damage your gun can do, and you need to be able to convert between percentage and hit points to determine the effectiveness of your weapon. That's a lot of on-the-fly mathematics, and it's a lot of memorization. Most people aren't going to want to do that or be good at doing that. I don't want to do that. I'm not good at that. I have a good head for remembering how much damage my gun does, but I don't have a good head for instantly translating 68% into a number. So HP percentage is fairly useless. Now, these are some better configurations. This is what I used for a long time until I got my XVM config. And what I like to have displayed is, on the default for the enemy, I like vehicle tier, vehicle model, health indicator, showing hit points left to hit points total, and damage received. And I like to have the same exact setup for the alt setup, except with player name toggled on instead of vehicle model. And the reason why I like it done that way is because with player name up there, it just gets a little too confused. So if I do want to be able to call somebody out by name, I just push alt and I look at them. But with the vehicle tier showing, again, I get that immediate knowledge of, oh crap, I need to run away, or oh crap, I can kill this guy. Vehicle model tells me exactly what I'm fighting instantly. I don't have to dork around looking at the team list or anything like that. I don't need to push alt to see what I'm facing. As soon as the guy's spotted, it tells me that is a tiger. So I know immediately what I'm dealing with, and I know immediately whether or not I can take him, or whether I have to be careful, or whether I can be aggressive, or what have you. Now the HP left, HP total is definitely the best way to have the health bar set up. And as you can see right here, the hit points showing on the left is how much are currently remaining out of the total. And the reason why I like it set up that way is because I know the average damage of my gun. And so if I just see the hit points total right there, there's no math involved. I can tell how many shots do I need to put into that guy to take him down. Can I, in a situation like if I'm driving an ISE 152, really powerful gun, but really, really bad armor, you usually want to only expose yourself to take one shot and then pull back. So if I want to know, can I one-shot kill that guy without taking any return fire, if I'm showing his total remaining hit points instead of a percentage, it's much easier to do that. So in the scenario with this tiger right here, I would know my gun does 750 average damage. This tiger has 985 health. It's very unlikely that I could one-shot kill that guy. I would need to be more careful in engaging him than if the guy had, say, 500 hit points. In that case, I could basically just roll out, take the shot at my leisure, and then pull back into cover to reload. I like the same exact setup for friendly players: vehicle tier, vehicle model, HP indicator, damage received, and HP left, HP total. And again, on the Alt tab, the only thing I do different is I like to swap the player name for the vehicle model. Stuff like the vehicle icon can be useful, but if you know the vehicle's silhouettes well enough for the vehicle icon to be of use, you'd be better off just showing the vehicle model. Putting the icon up there is just going to put more things on screen, more superfluous data to clutter things up. So I don't advise using the vehicle icon, although you can if you want to. And for destroyed vehicles, I can't remember what the default over-target marker is for dead guys, but it's actually really involved. It shows almost everything. And if I had the ability, I would even turn this off, because it's not very useful. What I like to have showing for dead tanks is I like to have showing the vehicle tier, the vehicle model, and the player name, both on the default and the alternate setting. I like to hide the health bar because they're dead, so obviously they have 0 health. And even though in this screenshot damage received is ticked off, I would normally be hiding that because I know they're dead, so I know they've received the full amount of damage possible. Having this up there just clutters the screen. But having the vehicle tier, model, and name is useful, because then if you're in an engagement and you're sitting there going, I thought I had a friendly E75 over here, where is he? And you pan over to your right to the cluster of 9 dead tanks. You see in the cluster of 9 dead tanks, one of them is that friendly E75 that you were hoping would come back you up. So having having the model and the player name turned on for dead tanks is definitely worth it. If you're, looking, if there are two friendly E75s that you're hoping will back you up, and, you're looking to see what the situation is with them, and you've got the player name turned on, you can tell, is the dead E75, sitting in the field, is that the guy that was backing you up, or is that the guy that was being a derp? Like, for dead tanks, basically, you want to be able to identify whether or not your backup or the thing that you're most worried about is alive or dead, and you want to be able to do it quickly, and you don't really need to be able to do anything else because they're dead. So, I kind of like to turn the information for dead tanks down quite a bit. So that's my take on over target markers. You can use that information if you so choose. It's about the first thing that I tell my friends to do when they start playing this game is to change their over target markers. And again, just so that you know how to get there, you go to Menu, Settings, to the Marker tab, and don't forget to do Enemy Team, Our Team, and Destroyed. Really, with good over target markers, like I said at the beginning, you can take in the maximum amount of valuable data while filtering out the superfluous data that the game likes to give you. And you're left only with good, useful information, and you're getting that information as rapidly as possible. And that really can be a big help. It can be game-changing. A guy with a good over target marker setup can assess the situation a lot more quickly than somebody with a bad over target marker setup. And a few seconds might actually be the difference between, a good player or an average player winning the game over a below average player. And a huge part of what may make you a good or a good or average player versus a below average player might be the fact that you're just always able to get your information in 1 second instead of, say, 3 seconds because you have good over target marker setup. Again, along with map awareness, I would rate a good over target marker setup as probably the number one most important thing that you can extremely easily do to just make yourself that much better of a player that much more quickly. It's something you can do before you even join a single battle, and it is incredibly useful. So I hope that tip was helpful. It's definitely been helpful for me. When this game first came out, I probably played 2,000 battles before I even knew that you could change the over target markers. And when I finally figured out that I could set HP total instead of HP percentage, it was practically like Christmas. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope you enjoy my World of Tanks advice, and I hope it helps make you a better player. Anyway, guys, until next time, this is Captain Dorja, and just remember, you can never have enough big guns.